Hey guys, my name's Jono, this is Jason. We're full-time filmmakers based in Sydney, Australia, and in this video, we're talking about how to be your own boss and say bye-bye to your 9 to 5. So how do you know you want to be an entrepreneur? Well, for me, in my early 20s, one of the bucket list items I've always had was to start my own business. I like that sense of adventure and starting something from scratch and building something from nothing. I didn't know what sort of business I wanted to start. I just knew I wanted to start some sort of business and work for myself one day. Even though at the time I was a lawyer, I didn't really see myself starting a law firm in the future because I just didn't have the same passion for the law. And then I found my passion for videography. And I knew when you start a business, you have to have a strong interest or passion in whatever that you're doing, because if you don't, you're going to give up very easily. So that's how I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It's always been a bucket list item of mine, and this dream started to become a reality when I found something that I genuinely enjoyed.
And for me, it stems from my intense dislike for 9 to 5. It wasn't clear to me at the start, but as I go through my early 20s, it became clear that this was the only path that I could take that could truly make me happy in the future.
So how do you get started? Well, on this channel, we've talked a lot about our first video gig together, which was the 3-day Caribbean party. But my first photo and video related gig was actually for a colleague of mine who was starting an e-commerce lingerie business at the time. How I got that was, one day this colleague of mine comes into the office and brings out these tubes that have lingerie in them and says, "Hey guys, look, I've just created this e-commerce lingerie business." So we were chatting and she mentioned that she just got started and didn't have any photos to advertise the product. And I thought, hey, I've got a camera at home. It was an old DSLR camera that my dad had bought back in 2009. And I just said to her, hey, why don't I take these products home and take a few photos for you? I'm just starting to learn photography and it's good practice for me. And if you like the photos, you can use them for your marketing. And yeah, she really liked the photos, surprisingly, and she asked me for my help to do a lifestyle shoot for her. At the time, I didn't actually know how to take photographs properly. I was just using the automatic settings on the camera, but I just thought it was a good chance to learn and to push myself. So my colleague organizes this massive lifestyle shoot at this beachside mansion with models, outfits, a makeup artist, and here I was, a complete newbie with a beginner camera that I borrowed from Jason and a nifty 50 lens, just faking it until I made it. In terms of tips for when you're first starting out, I would say don't focus on trying to earn money straight away because you're just starting out. Your skill set is actually probably not up to the standard yet where you should be getting paid, but instead come from the place of just genuinely just trying to learn as much as you can and to help people. Money is really just an exchange of value. So when you're starting out, just always focus on trying to provide as much value as you can. For example, that lingerie shoot that I did with my colleague, on that day that she came into the office and told us about her new business, I didn't think to myself, hey, look, here's a chance for me to sell her my services, because at the time, I didn't have any services to sell. I didn't even know how to take photos. Instead, I just started from a place of genuinely trying to help her by taking a few photos for her, and in the same process, learning my craft as well. So remember, always start with trying to provide value first, and the money will come.
When I first started off with my interest in photography and filmmaking back in 2019, I started off by taking landscape photos and portraits of my friends for fun. One day, a fellow photographer hobbyist found my page, looked at it and really liked these photos, and she had a friend who was gonna have a birthday party and they needed a photographer for it. So she DM'd me and asked, hey, do you want to be the photographer for this birthday party? I have never gotten paid for my photography before, so I was super nervous. I was having mad imposter syndrome, can I really do it? I was excited when I finished the party. I took my camera home, put in the SD drive into my computer, and oh my god, my photos looked horrible. When I look at the photos, I realized that I wasn't using my flash correctly, and you know what's the worst of all? I was shooting at ISO 6400, which is okay for higher end cameras, but at the time I was using a low end camera like the Canon 1300D. So the photos, they weren't as good as they should be, but because the client that knew that it was my first gig, they gave me some leeway, which I'm really grateful for. But I think the most important thing to take out of it is that it actually got the ball rolling. This first gig gave me the confidence that I could get paid for my skills. So Jono, what was your biggest fear when you were first starting out?
So when we're starting out, I think one of the biggest fears I had was definitely imposter syndrome, especially when people started offering to pay us for our videos. I remember I started learning how to use a camera back in June 2019 for video when I shot that wedding video for my friend. And I remember 6 months later, by December 2019, people were already sending us DMs asking us to do paid video work for them. So social media content for local businesses, event highlight videos. And when you go to these shoots, you come across other professional photographers and videographers who have been in the industry for so many years, and their work is absolutely amazing. And you're just standing there with your $500 camera and your nifty 50 lens going, yep, this is me shooting some professional content for these businesses and brands. And I didn't look like a professional. I didn't have any professional equipment, and my work definitely didn't look that professional. Definitely didn't look like up to the level that I was getting paid to make those videos. But the way that I got over that was, I guess, number one, I loved what I was doing. I was passionate and people could see that, and I was hungry to continuously improve and get to the level of these other professionals.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same. You know, I really felt like I was always faking it all the time. But like when you're on gigs, you really have no choice but to really go through and do your job, you know. And it's really good that we both have each other there. A lot of the times
We're
where
just
we would,
gassing each other up.
exactly, we would give each other like a lot of morale support. And yeah, like if one of us is feeling down and shit, we would just say to each other, hey man, you're actually not that crap. You can do it, you know?
So what would be some practical tips that we would give if you're looking to be your own boss and escape your 9 to 5? Well, I think escaping the 9 to 5 and the whole rat race concept and being your own boss can be sometimes put on a bit of a pedestal. Some people who are not enjoying their job at the moment think, oh, you know what, I should just quit my job cold turkey without a plan, or I've just finished uni, I don't know what to do with my life, so I should just do whatever, go be my own free spirit and defy society and be my own boss. But I think it's really important to also keep your feet on the ground and always remember to focus on building a skill first that will allow you to provide value to the world and be your own boss. Because without any sort of concrete skill that you can offer, being your own boss will be very difficult. But I think it's really important to also keep your feet on the ground and always think about what's a skill that you can develop first that will actually give you the freedom to be your own boss and add value directly to the marketplace. For example, when I was working my 9 to 5 job starting back in 2019, I knew that one day I wanted to be my own boss, but I planned that over a 2-3 year period. I was working hard to develop my craft on a consistent basis over a sustained period of time. It wasn't like 1 week where if I wasn't feeling like it, I was going to take a break from photography and videography this week and just have a rest after I finished work. No, for me, it was kind of like an obsession. Like every night after I finished work, I would go and edit for 3 to 4 hours after work before going to sleep, and then waking up, going to work again, and just repeating the process every single day consistently. And if we had no paid shoots, for example, we would then be proactive and plan what we call spec projects to keep improving our craft. And we kept doing this for 2 to 3 years. So by the time I actually quit my job and made the jump, I actually felt confident that I had a skill which I could directly contribute to the marketplace, which I could get remunerated quite well for. And that was what gave me the confidence to finally make the decision to escape my 9 to 5 and be my own boss. Just because you don't like your job, don't just think about escaping your 9 to 5 straight away. Focus on developing a skill first. Put your head down for 2 to 3 years and just work consistently on it. And after 2 to 3 years, when you look up, you're going to realize, wow, I've got this amazing skill now that I can add to the marketplace. I feel ready to now be my own boss and escape my 9 to 5.
So my tip would be, being prepared for the risk and the consequences, and really have a backup plan if things don't go as well as you plan it to be. And I give this advice because some people get so hyped with adrenaline about quitting their 9 to 5, going gung-ho and starting their own business, that they really neglect to really consider the risk. Another practical tip I want to give is that you should not care too much about what other people is saying. So you might find yourself in similar position to where I was. Your friends are going into traditional 9 to 5 jobs, and your parents are putting on that pressure for you to take that corporate job yourself. If so, I want to leave you one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Seuss. Be who you are and say how you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. If you want to be your own boss and pursue what you're interested in, 100% go for it. Because when you put in the hard work and people see your dedication and drive to make it work, your friends and family will eventually come around.
Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more. If you're also interested we have an email newsletter where we go deep into our journey of how we went from complete beginners back in 2019 to now running our own video production company full time. Thank you for watching again guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.
Bye bye.